Hey everybody, and welcome to the Quadcopter Review. I'm your host, Pepe Prawns, and as always, I'm going to ask you to like and comment on this video, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe if you would. Up here at the top, you're going to find all the latest giveaways. Just go ahead and click through that. So today, I'm bringing you the DR2 frame. So this little guy here, we're building out with some parts we've already done before, but I got this one at Armattan Productions once again. Go ahead and check that out. Get any kind of frames you like. Very cheap, very easy access, and a huge library of different frames you can work with. Now this little guy here is going to be, let's see here, she's 85 millimeters motor to motor, and it is a Truex Pepperfish frame. On this build, like I said, we've used some of the parts you've seen before. Look up in the upper right, you can check out that video for more about the parts themselves. We'll spare you that on this one. But we got HQ props here. We've got our Newbeedrone Hive 16 stack, so that's everything in that stack. We've got the Eachine 1102 motors, and we're going to use on this one the Beta FPV 352S milliamp hour battery. Now I built this little canopy here because we use the BI camera, and the canopy that comes with that is too wide for a 16 by 16 stack, so I've designed this 90 degree 16 by 16. I'll post that up at Thingiverse if you care to look at that and print one of those for yourself, but it holds everything on top of the stack here, just using the nuts as part of the stack. I added some tubes built onto that so you could go ahead and put your diversity antennas through there that come on this stack. All you gotta really do is solder on your ESCs and your power supply, and I've put a capacitor on mine, probably a little bit too big, but it was just the capacitor I had handy, so that's what I went ahead and did. We've got these 2-inch props on here, as I mentioned before, and we expect it to be quite a little zinger. So let's go ahead and look at the weights here. So the whole quad itself with the 350 battery is coming in at about 64.6, and the quad without the battery, now you can use different stacks and all kinds of things. Let's take a look here. We got 38.9. Now I've seen this get as low as 26 grams using maybe like a super tiny F4 and an all-in-one ESC and camera combination. So lots of ways you can even make this lighter than it is. Smaller motors too you could go with, and not as big as I have. So one thing to know is don't take off these vibration dampeners, because it'll make the gyro flip out, and the quad will shake violently. So if you've taken them off and you're seeing that, the gyro is extremely sensitive, and without those vibration dampeners, I was getting vibration off my motors, and it was really tripping this guy out. One little other thing about my canopy, if you get it and use it on this stack, there is a chip right here, and it does get in the way of the 4th screw, but it locks down so solidly that I'm not getting any vibrations in the camera from not locking down the 4th bolt, so no worries there. But you will find that if you print that and go ahead and use it. So let's see how she flies, most important part. Now with this setup that I have, you know, obviously it'd be different if you did a different setup on this little frame here, but I wanted to just start out in level mode just to make sure I wasn't getting any prop vibrations and have it just dump right in the bush. But everything will seem to be fine, so we'll click it in air mode and start ripping around a little bit. It is definitely not short on power, I can tell you that. It's got plenty of power, plenty of punch. The oddity was I wasn't getting this signal interference through my goggles that is recording into the DVR. Kind of strange. Don't get that too often, but I have had it happen before. As you can see, when it punches, even with the capacitor on, I'm getting it in my recording. But like I said, through the goggles, it's crystal clear, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Anyway, as you can see, very, very fast. Pleased with the motors, definitely pleased with the stack. The stack is a high-end stack. It's $100, but remember, it's everything. You don't need to buy a receiver, you don't need to buy a VTX. It's pretty much the stack, motors, camera, and a battery, and that's all you got. So, you know, on average, you know, unless you buy a cheap VTX, you're going to be spending $35 to $40, you know, dollars just on the stack, just on the VTX and receiver alone. So I don't feel that it's too high. A lot of people do, you know, that's to each their very own. But I think with everything you get and you just want to bolt it on, make a couple solder joints and go, it is definitely the option for a quick build. So, like I said, though, I'll leave that opinion up to you. Many people have them. You know, even with without being a whoop and open props, it seems to bounce off things pretty stinking well. Again, no real out of controlness at all that caused me to crash anything other than my own stupidity. A little bit windy today, and you'll see on some flips you'll find me going backwards, and that is the wind pushing me back. So I'm flying in probably 10-mile-an-hour winds. So to give you an idea of this, if this guy can handle the wind and other things like that, it sure seems to be able to handle all that stuff fine. So, you know, it'd make a nice little racer if you're into that. I'm finding that it handles acro pretty well too, and handles flying into a bush pretty good too. Didn't break anything. So, really nice one. You know, all the parts and stuff in the links below. Make sure you check that out if you're interested in any of the parts or the frame itself. Check out Armattan. And happy flying. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the Quadcopter review. If you want to see more interesting reviews on FPV related stuff, take a look up here in the old right corner right there. You'll find links to all the rest of my reviews. If you want to get in on some of the best giveaways on YouTube, look over here. Don't forget to subscribe right here on my chin. And if you want to check out my flying only videos separated from the review channel, check that out right here. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to subscribe, and happy flying.